East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. East of the sun and west of the moon. Good afternoon, good evening, Staten Island, and welcome to the Al Lambert Show. And every show is always dedicated to the memory of my mom and dad. And I always say my dad in particular because he had a show here in the late 80s and the 90s for about 10 years. And he was Johnny Carson and I was Ed McMahon. He was the real boss. I'm not the boss anymore. So thanks for tuning in. I have a terrific show for you today. My first guest is Mr. Vincent Innocente. And he's the Director of Marketing and Audience Services.
You got it.
I didn't do bad. Do bad. Marketing and Audience Services. Now, the fact that he has a terrific band also, we will not mention. Okay, but what is the name of the band?
The band is Cause and the Effects.
Cause and the Effects. That's right. Okay, just want to make sure we get that out there.
Thank you.
And I also love when you do on Facebook, you do the Facebook Live stuff. Hi, Vin.
How are you, Al?
I'm great, man.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Oh, absolutely glad to have you. So, what do you want to talk about first? What's going on at the St. George Theater, and then a little bit about Cause and Effect. I want to hear some stuff about that.
If you want. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here wearing my, like I was telling you before we started, my day job is my night job.
That's right.
As the manager of, you gave me a promotion. I'm the manager, not director yet.
Oh, okay.
But the manager of Marketing and Audience Services at the theater. I'm responsible for everything that we do in terms of public relations and advertising and promoting the venue, both as a nonprofit organization, which we are, but also all the shows that we have. We just recently had our big gala celebration, 89 years of the theater. The theater turns 90 this December 4th, but we just celebrated our 89th anniversary with a wonderful concert with the OJs.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're on their farewell tour.
Wow.
So we were lucky to have them, and they actually filmed that concert for an upcoming PBS special.
Wow, that's
so it
great.
was, not only was it our biggest night of the year, but then we added 6 cameras and a big crew in there. So it was a lot of work. We had 29 restaurants who donated food for us.
That's great.
For the pre-party and the after-party. And we honored John Demolius from Staten Island University Hospital Foundation.
Yes, I know John.
Wonderful honoree.
Yep.
He's a terrific guy. The hospital has been ardent supporters of the theater for many, many, many years. So it was a great night to celebrate.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll ask you about the December 4th. What day are you going to have an event on the 4th? What is that, a Wednesday? That's a weeknight.
This year it's a weeknight. Yeah, you know that because you gig on weekends.
And I also have stuff going on during the week, and I was just playing with that date today. I'm glad you told me. I may have to change it one day.
Yeah, I believe
I don't want to do the same night as you guys.
I believe it's a Wednesday. We have a concert on the 5th that we have yet to announce. It's going to be a big performer.
Okay, good.
But the 4th, right now, there's a plan to commemorate the date. We usually commemorate the anniversary the following spring. So we just had our gala on March 30th for the anniversary that was the previous December 4th.
Gotcha.
So we may do something on the date, but then our 90th anniversary gala will probably be the following spring.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
It's amazing. I just want to say that the theater broke ground August of 28 and opened December of 29. It's a little over a year to build that magnificent building.
That's amazing.
Now we can't build houses on Staten Island in 2 years.
So. I agree. I built houses in the 90s.
Yeah,
I know what it's like. You know. Now the story was that the St. George Theater was built during when vaudeville was almost coming out. It wasn't. Right, because it had some vaudeville, but not for very long.
Sure, it had some of the touring acts through the theater, here and there, but it was primarily for movies.
Right.
It opened now, history. December of 1929 was just after the crash, so it was right in the midst of the Great Depression.
Right.
But the movie business boomed during the Depression because it was a cheap day out for the family. So you had your troubles, and you weren't financially stable at the time because of the economy. However, you wanted to forget about your troubles, pack up all
get
your
happy.
cares and woes. You're right there.
Brother, can you spare a dime?
Right.
Today it's brother, can you spare a G note?
Right. No, seriously, you can't get anything for that. But back in the day, a nickel or a dime, the Nickelodeons, it was you would go and see 2-3 movies. You have your commercials, you have not your commercials, your cartoons, your newsreel,
Right.
And it was a great day to spend. They also had some of the vaudeville stars and the singers of the day. Kate Smith came through there, Al Jolson, Guy Lombardo. Matter of fact, we just had the late, great Jerry Lewis a couple of years ago.
Right,
it was one of his final performances.
Right.
But when I had met him, I met him 2 days prior to the event at the Friars Club. And I said, hi.
I've been there. That's an amazing.
I love that building. I love that whole organization.
That whole thing.
But his manager invited me up, and I introduced myself. Hi, Mr. Lewis. I'm Vincent. I'm from the St. George Theater. We'll see you on Sunday for the show. And he told me, I played your theater when I was 17 years old in 1943.
Wow.
So that was when I think his parents were vaudeville stars.
Oh.
And he was touring with them.
He remembered.
He remembered. I mean, he may have been mistaken, but he remembered.
Right, yeah, he remembered.
And he told a great joke at the theater the night that he played. Doreen and Luann, so Doreen Cugno and Luann Sorrentino, who are the co-founders of the theater with their mother, Mrs. Rosemary, founded the nonprofit that saved the building. Doreen and Luann were both there that night, and they visited him in the dressing room and welcomed him and said, so he told a story on the stage, fabricated it, but it was a great joke. He said, I met the two sisters who brought this theater back to life, and they said, Jerry, this isn't our theater, this isn't your theater, it's our theater. And he goes, well, I said, let's sell it. It was a great joke, and just his delivery.
That's a great
He was 90 years old, and he still had that delivery. The timing is everything.
That's funny. Now, the OJ's final tour, just so you know, Sinatra had 3 final tours.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them come back.
I think Cher's on her 14th.
Yeah, she's on her 14th. Well, she's actually a different body. They put her head on another body. But I love Cher. I'm only kidding.
No,
She's not
Elton
gonna
John
be
is on
watching.
a 3-year farewell tour.
3-year
So he announced it.
Tour.
He's saying farewell, but he's played the Garden
years.
now, I think, twice, and he's going to come back a third time
For the farewell
on his farewell tour.
It's like
so.
us in Italian families when we leave. It takes an
Right,
hour and a half.
right.
By the time you leave, you forgot
true.
who you got to go back and start again.
It's true. If you have to leave somewhere at 2 o'clock, you start saying goodbye at 1:40.
Exactly.
It takes you 20 minutes to get through the whole room.
And getting back to the theater for a minute, when they took out that middle part, you put those seats back now, or is it still a flat middle?
So no. So what had happened? The theater was originally built with one continuous rake from the front
Right, the
row
seats.
to the lobby.
Right.
Right. In the late 70s, it was sold and converted to a disco club where they got rid of all those seats and built that second platform. So when the girls took it over and established a nonprofit, they were left with no seats. They had to do more shows to pay for actual theater seats. They were renting folding chairs at the beginning.
Right.
What we did in 2015 was we put a rake on top of that second platform. So we have 2 distinct orchestra sections, the front orchestra and the second orchestra, which is named the Richmond County Savings Foundation Circle, because the foundation graciously donated money to put that section in. So yes, it is now raked. We have the 2 sections. The sight lines in that section are incredible as well, because you're not in the orchestra looking up, and you're not in the balcony looking down. You're looking directly at the stage. Right. So those first few rows, I think, are some of the best seats in any venue in New York City.
Now, what, 1,800 seats?
1898.
1898.
Yeah, it was a very good year.
Was.
But we have so many seats in our balcony, and the balcony is one of the largest balconies, freestanding balconies ever built. There are no columns that hold the balcony up, so there's no obstruction of view anywhere. But that balcony, that front row, is equivalent to about the 8th row in the orchestra. So you're really very close to the stage. You've got great sound, great vision. Those seats were put in 2017, brand new seats with cup holders, aisle lights, handrails, electrical upgrades. The new carpeting is reminiscent of the original design. It was made by a mill in England and brought over. That was paid for generously by the city of New York. So really, the theater is luxurious. It's every year we do more. We just put up our new marquee.
Right.
So this was our first gala this year to have the marquee lighting up the street with the letters, the light bulbs, the LED,
so
the
great.
animation.
Yeah, it's so
it was
great.
really, every year it gets better and better. Yeah, and we're just trying to bring in great acts every
One of
year.
those bartenders is sitting here. He's going to be on my next guest.
That's right, Mr. Daly. Yes.
You think I forgot?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Now, how many? There's the one on Flatbush Avenue. What is that? King's.
The King's Theater.
How many does that sit?
There are, I think, roughly 3,000 seats.
3,000.
So they're about 1,000 more than us. If we had the original configuration, we would be just like within 100 seats of them. We would be, I think, 28, 56.
No kidding.
I want to say was the original capacity.
Wow.
But with the orchestra divided in two, we've lost nearly 1,000 seats from the original.
I see. Did not know
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, we have a unique configuration now. We're a unique
1800's
size.
good. It's actually good.
It's a very good size.
It's
No,
good. It's a
it
good
puts
sell.
us. We're larger than some theaters in New Jersey, like the Count Basie Theater and the Mayo Pack and the Bergen Pack.
I did the Count Basie.
You did?
Beautiful. Loved it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. But we're smaller than, say, the Beacon or the Kings, and obviously we're probably 3 times. Radio City Music Hall is about 3 times the size of ours.
Right.
So-
Now, did you hear? I don't know. I was watching television that night. I don't watch late night television very often anymore.
Except when you're on.
Except when I'm on.
Right.
Well, that's the Good Morning
which-
Stupid
right.
show. That's called Good Morning Stupid. But the one night Jimmy Kimmel had, I think it was Jay-Z on. I don't know if anybody saw it that night. And Jimmy Kimmel and Jay-Z were talking, and Jay-Z was appearing at that King's Theater on Flatbush Avenue. So Kimmel says to him, and of course I know this was a setup, but the audience didn't know it.
Right.
And Kimmel says to him, listen, he goes, don't you have to go? You're performing tonight. He said, I actually do. He said, but I hate to leave your audience. So Kimmel says, well, he goes, I know, but you got to do the show. He says, yeah. He says, maybe, why don't you just all come down? So,
That's cool.
so Kimmel goes, what do you mean you all come down? He says, the whole audience. He says, why don't you all come down for the show? So Kimmel says to the audience, he goes, you guys want to go down? And the audience goes nuts.
Yeah, sure.
So Kimmel says to him, how are you going to do this? I saved 3,000 seats.
Well, so you know.
So
right.
the whole, I wasn't sure if it was that, but
Right.
I'm using that. And the whole audience all started to scream. They opened up all the doors in the theater, and 3,000 people walked
Just
down
exited
Flatbush Avenue from where?
They were at BAM, I want to
Barclay.
say.
They were
BAM
at Barclay.
Oh,
actually.
Barclay.
I
Okay.
apologize.
Okay.
They were in that theater, which is where Kimmel did the show, and
Right.
they walked to Barclay.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
King
that's how it went. It
King
went the
sounds
other
small
way.
for Jay-Z these days.
Yeah, that went
But
to the other way. I
Okay.
apologize. It went to Barclay, but it's on the same street.
Sure.
Right, and that was interesting.
Nice.
And this story I've told before, but it bears telling because I always think about Tony Bennett there. I met Tony Bennett when I worked at the Copacabana.
Right.
I was upstairs, he was downstairs, and I went downstairs. The same guy that's in that movie, that new movie that's out, everybody went to see. He was the guy that he worked the door at the Copacabana. I can't think of the movie. It's a new movie. It's one of the top movies, and that guy was there when I did that. You know the movie I'm talking about? Yes.
The one, the Oscar one.
Not only was that guy there, Joe, and did I know him, my father hung out with him. They became buddies, you know. So anyway, there was a staircase. There you go. There was a staircase from where I worked in the lounge. I didn't work the big room. I worked in the lounge, and there was a staircase, so I would go down and see the acts. So when Bennett was there, naturally I went down, you know. So I started hanging around. He came by, I went up to him, shook his hand, talked to him, and he signed something for me. My ex-wife has it now. She never watches the show, so I can say that. So that night, I saw Tony Bennett.
Right.
So I went to see my son down in D.C. about 2 years ago. He said, Dad, why don't you come down and have something to eat, you know, that kind of thing. We'll talk. So I drove down to Washington on a weeknight, and I am psychic. I only got a minute and a half, so I'll make this quick. So I go down there, and I'm driving in, and I go, I'm going to meet Tony Bennett. I'm driving.
Right.
I go, what the hell? How am I going to meet Tony Bennett? It's crazy.
Right.
And it happened again. And I kept saying, I'm going to meet Tony Bennett. My son takes me to dinner. We go to a great restaurant.
But I want to meet Billy Joel. Can I do that?
Yeah,
Can
I don't know, but-
I'm going to meet Billy Joel today. No.
So yes, I drive down. We go to eat. He says, Dad, I want to take you somewhere. Okay, he takes me down the alleyway here and there in Georgetown, and there's a nightclub. I walk in the nightclub, and on the chalkboard, they had a big thing with appearing tonight, Antonia Bennett,
Antonia Bennett. Okay.
daughter. So I wasn't so wrong.
Right, so yeah.
P.S. Psychic being psychic, you and I could probably talk for about an hour and a half.
I'm sure.
Where's cause and effect right now?
Cause and the effects.
And the effects,
Yeah, there's one cause, multiple effects.
That's Joe Causy's son.
Joe Causy's son, Anthony, who's probably by the time this airs will be a grandfather. Anthony's
Joe
wife.
will be a grandfather.
Joe will be a
right,
grandfather.
right.
Anthony's wife, Carolyn, is due very shortly. We're excited for that. We are performing all over. We're going to be in Long Island in April. We're playing Villa Roma in August. We're going to be in Connecticut in August. We're doing a lot of weddings and private parties and Great Kill Swim Club, Hillside Swim Club.
Good.
We're a 7, 8, 10-piece band, depending on following in your footsteps.
Following in my footsteps.
Trying to keep live music alive.
Keep that music alive, okay? If it ain't live, man.
And please come out to the St. George Theater soon.
Yes, do
We
that.
got a lot of great shows.
So before we go, let's take a few minutes. Tell us the up-and-coming events.
Great. So upcoming, we just started a classic movie series this year. We're bringing movies back to the St. George Theater. The next one is going to be Sunday, April 14th. We're showing the Judy Garland, A Star Is Born. So the one from the early 50s. And before it, we're going to be showing a silent film called The Immigrant with Charlie Chaplin. We're working with the New York Public Library on that. We're excited for that. In May, we have the Grease Sing-Along. And then as it goes through, in July, we're going to have a screening of Jaws. And we're going to have the co-writer, Carl Gottlieb, is going to be there to do an intro and a meet and greet in the lobby. We're showing Jurassic Park, A League of Their Own, Night of the Living Dead, and then our annual Rocky Horror Picture Show and Frozen. So those are our movies. Our live performances, we've got Paul Anka coming on Mother's Day. So this is now his 3rd year in a row. We've had him now 4 times. So he'll be actually on Mother's Day on that Sunday.
Great.
The night before, we've got a Motown Mother's Day tribute with Mary Wilson of the Supremes and Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. So 2 iconic women of Motown together on stage. We have Dennis DeYoung from Styx. We'll be here on Friday, April 26th. We've got our Ultimate Freestyle Explosion on April 27th. That's a Saturday night. And then as we go into May, we have Dennis Miller, the comedian, Saturday, May 18th. Friday, May 31st, we've got Kevin James.
What are you, a savant? You got all this stuff going.
I do.
You got in your brain. Good.
I live by dates, live and breathe
I
by
know,
dates.
me too. I sell dates.
And if I can get a date, please, anybody out there. Saturday, June 1st, we've got Beatles Blast this year celebrating 50 years of Abbey Road with the Blue Meanies. That'll be on TV, I'm sure. Right. CTV always puts that on. We have the Happy Together Tour again on June 12th.
I saw that in Nashville. What a show.
It's an excellent show.
Oh, my God.
This year, the lineup.
Ron Dante was in it. He actually did both. He did the Turtles and he did his own
thing. So we don't know. He may very well be on this show with the Turtles, but we have the Turtles, the Buckinghams, the Classics 4,
that was great.
Which is the first time for them.
Yeah, they weren't on the other show. The associations were in it.
The association, we have the Cowsills, the Buckinghams, and Gary Puckett in the Union Gap.
Gary Puckett in the Union Gap. Okay. Great.
And then finally,
he
Robert.
was great.
We have June 14th, Robert Cray with Mark Cohn and the Blind Boys of Alabama.
Right.
So a little something for everyone. If you check out our website, stgeorgetheater.com, it's got our whole list into the fall and beyond.
Great.
So
that's a wonderful
thank you.
thing. All right,
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. Yes.
The best.
Take care.
Okay. My next 2 guests, terrific Staten Islanders, terrific actors, directors. First one is Charlie Sullivan. Hi, Charlie.
Great to see you,
Joe.
as always.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Irish half of your show today.
Yeah, you are.
we saw the first
That's
half.
true. That's very good. Again, I spoke with Vinny. We could go on and on and on. So we're going to get in as much as we can during the time frame.
Sure.
I have to say, right, Joe was so active in helping me out with that South Shore Rotary show over the years, which this year we did not have it. I'm pretty sure it's finally ended after 21 years.
Promises.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty well over. But I'm doing something else and many other things actually with other people, But P.S. I want to thank you for that. You really handled that well. It was always with good aplomb and fun, and it was great. So thank you for that.
My
and that was
pleasure.
the least artistic thing you probably ever did in your life. But okay, you didn't treat it that way.
No, listen, I left because I wasn't big on musicals.
Yeah, whatever. But that's the truth. Yeah. So, Charlie, tell me about this new thing that you guys developed. I'm so excited to hear about it.
We started a new theater company. There's been an explosion of theater on Staten Island.
I'm noticing, yeah.
Almost harkening back to the old days when Joe and I first met.
In the 80s.
Civic Theater and Looking Glass, and there's a bunch of companies. Then there was sort of a period where it was only a couple, and now there's kind of an explosion. There's a lot of interest. So I started a company called Ghost Light Productions after the light that you leave on the stage so people don't fall over.
Isn't that beautiful? Right. I didn't put that together. My brain is fried. Petrified, actually.
You've seen a few ghost lights in your life, I'm sure.
It's their logo as well.
Yeah. See, I didn't see that.
And we had an opportunity. Richmond Town has a new management, and they're very interested in having more theater there, which they, brings more people to the space.
Sure.
And so we put together a season, sort of a little sampler, if you will. It's 3 shows in 3 weeks, in 3 weekends. First is Fantastics, the last weekend in April.
Very good idea.
It's a lot of fun.
Very good idea.
The second is a play called 5 Women Wearing the Same Dress, the first weekend of May. It's by Alan Ball, who wrote American Beauty, and he did the TV series 6 Feet Under, and he's only written a couple of plays he wrote early on. It's about 5 bridesmaids trapped in a wedding in Knoxville, and they go retreat to a bedroom to hide from the bride who they can't stand. So very, very funny. And then the third and final show of that trilogy is 12 Angry Men, and we had wonderful people audition. We had a huge turnout. And people, Paul Smith is in it. Joe is in 12 Angry Men. Paul's in it. Jeff Bodner, if you know him.
Tony Verrilli.
Tony Verrilli.
Wow, it's great. The whole plethora of types.
Yeah. Michael Whalen, Jack Dabdoob. You'll know a bunch of people in it. Plus people there's one person in 12 Angry Men who's literally never been in a show before. He's 70, I think, 69, 70 years old.
I know him.
It's Melanie Randall's dad.
Isn't that wonderful?
Frank Randall.
And he's not angry yet like the rest of us.
He's not angry.
This is his show.
You start out angry.
You get angry later. But something you just did, which sometimes in the theater, Staten Island, I'm talking about, okay, we forget that people bring in people. And sometimes I'll look at a show or an advertisement or a book or something, and maybe it'll have, the director in the show, and very rarely who's in it. And in the marketing world, and I don't know if Vinny can attest to this or not, when you guys do the Christmas show, everybody try to put their names out there. It brings people in. So it's good that you mentioned that, and it's something you may want to think about. Sometimes you pick your 5 or whatever you can fit in it. It makes sense, and they'll bring people in. So it's a good marketing tool.
That's the idea.
Yeah,
and it's a nice, really nice mix of people some of whom have worked together for a long time. Some people who've actually been doing a lot of theater on Staten Island and never been in the same show together, and others who are brand new to the process. So it's really fun, and it's been great fun auditioning. It's a little hectic because you have actually 3 different shows all rehearsing at the same time, pretty much.
Right.
But we're very excited about it. Richmond Town has been very supportive. We're doing it in the courthouse, which is a huge, much bigger space than I thought. It's a wonderful space. The acoustics are great.
I love seeing
very excited about that. And then we also decided, and Richmond Town was very excited about this, we're going to do 1776 on the 4th and that weekend.
Wow.
So the 4th, the 5th, 6th, 7th is Thursday through Sunday.
Of July.
Of July, right.
Yeah,
sorry.
Who are the people involved in the theater? Was Karen, it was you?
It was me.
That's a different group.
That's a different
that just
group.
started
Mixing
also.
that up. Okay,
Another group that just started, Craig.
So there's 3? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one with Craig. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't
This is
sure if it
with
was the same one.
Gary Bradley, James McKeon, Dennis. Do you know Dennis McKeon from Where to Turn?
I kind of do, yeah.
Craig Kwasnicki, and sort of like just a group of friends.
Right, that got together to do this.
And
you have to write something up. I mean, you're a lawyer who would know better than you.
Yeah.
You had to put something together for this?
Yeah, well...
or is it a light thing?
If in order to formally start a company, you have to do the
regular
LLC
corporation.
documentation.
You did that. Yeah.
But that's the easy part. The harder part is like getting the rights and figuring out how to rent equipment and get the whole process going. But we decided that if we don't just do it, we'll never do it. So we just decided to do it. Figure out if we make mistakes along the way, we make mistakes.
Spontaneous combustion.
Yeah.
Just do it. Let it all happen.
So far,
I
so
agree.
good.
Well, when Paul was going to be here today, Paul left when we did when Civic Theater did. We were doing something at Veterans Hall. It was a musical version of, I think, Showboat. And Paul left, and Shabbat, and then I don't know. Everything was crazy, and I was on the board, and they go, "You got to be president." I said, "Well, I don't know what that. I'm a nightclub singer. How am I going to do that?" So no, you got. I don't know anything about theater. Man, did I learn. I learned
lot,
a
right?
lot.
Quickly.
Quickly. It was really baptism by fire. And all of a sudden, my life was consumed by it. And then the theater was under investigation. 3 weeks later, I was on the
Why do you
front
think
page.
they made you president?
3 months later, I was like this. I was on the
With
front
the
page.
raincoat over your head.
But they were cool. The advance was cool. They said,
Let me
Lambert
tell you a
wasn't
little bit
there.
about
But go
this
ahead.
theater
Yes,
company
go ahead.
that Charlie started. So Charlie has decided to do all the rehearsals in his home, and he's rehearsing 3 shows at once with 3 completely looking
that's
different sets.
funny.
So his daytimes are spent moving furniture back and forth.
But
Well, he's got such a feel for he's got
Yeah.
the heart.
well, one of the things about the theater companies is, and that I think we used to love about the theater companies back in the day when Civic Theater took over Christ Episcopal Church and just had it. They had a place, and it was almost a place to hang out, and so people could come, not even necessarily be in a show, but just have a place to be part of. And then while you're there, you learn how to build a set. You learn, maybe you get thrown into a
That
part.
was the beauty of it.
And there's really the big problem that most companies have right now is there isn't a place.
Right.
Like Seaview, Joe Giraldi still has that theater,
Right.
but most others are nomadic.
Yeah.
And so,
That's how Jerry Nadell got his start.
yeah, that's right.
Currently senior vice president of Cirque du
I
Soleil.
know. I saw him at the reunion.
He got a
Senior
start at
vice
Civic
president.
Theater.
Yeah, but he learned like picking up
Setting
things.
up chairs.
I know. I remember meeting him when I sang at the Yankee when you guys did upstairs at Civic Theater.
Damn Yankees.
Damn Yankees.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh,
Phil
yeah,
Struneri said to me, "You got to do the national anthem." And that's when I met Jerry.
Oh, that's
Before Jack
funny.
Venari took over.
Yeah, before Jack is now the official, but we still do it together once in a while. In fact, it just reminded me. I got to call him. Go ahead.
But it's nice to have people come over and hang out at the house while the
Right.
rehearsal's
Of
going on. And
course.
it just makes it gives it that community feel that I loved when I was
Doing it
in my
Well,
teens and 20s.
Right.
And so that's sort of the idea.
That is the idea because you want to be in the middle of it. I remember when I did that and I had to come to a couple of rehearsals and I saw everybody up there running around and doing this. I said, but it's got some life here. In those days, I was working till 9 o'clock every night. I could never do that. Car business brought you till 9 o'clock, and then I was gigging after that like a nut job. And I was saying, gee, I would love to do this at some point in my life, but it never got to that.
And when are you going to retire?
I know.
Exactly, right?
Well, I told Vinny I belong in a hammock in Florida, but I wanted to tell Vinny that he mentioned the groups. I backed up the Shirelles 2 years in a row for New Year's Eve, and my band we didn't even.
Where was this?
At the Nelson Terrace in the Island Townhouse. It was where in Great Kills.
Across the street from the Swiss Chalet.
From the Swiss Chalet. and it was so funny, and they were the show. And we did a rehearsal. We didn't do a rehearsal. We did a talk through. And Shirley was sitting on my lap. You want to talk about what goes on today? She said, come here, honey. And she sat right on my lap. She said, we're going to go over the show. That's true. It was so much fun. Anyway, so what are you doing in this?
I auditioned and got a role as a juror in the 12 Angry Men.
Okay.
And Paul is in it as well.
Good.
And he's done the exact part that he's done before. I'm doing. You've ever seen the movie? There's a lot of famous actors in it. Henry Fonda,
that
Lee
was
J.
a-
Cobb.
yeah, I can't
I'm playing
recall
the Jack Warden part.
Okay.
Guy doesn't care about a verdict. He's got Yankee tickets for the night, and he doesn't care about a verdict.
Doesn't care
You know,
about
real
it.
50s
right kind of thing.
feel to it.
Yeah,
But
I
speaking
gotta-
of Paul, I just want to mention something. This will certainly air after it's over.
Mm-hmm.
But the Staten Island Shakespearean Theater Company is doing Judgment in Nuremberg
Mm-hmm.
this last weekend and this weekend, and it is a terrific production with some
Where is it gonna
great
be?
performances at the courthouse.
At the courthouse
Yeah.
also. Okay.
We could name all of the
Amazing.
courthouse plays that have been done in the courthouse.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
To Kill a Mockingbird,
right.
Inherit the Wind,
Yeah.
Andersonville trial.
Andersonville Trial. Yeah.
It's a great spot.
It's a great space.
I love it.
So now Judgment at Nuremberg is there, and they've got old films from the Nazi camps and everything. It's really a multimedia event, and
That
and
is
Paul,
great.
who is basically out of retirement, he's done one or two small things, but he delivers a powerhouse performance
great
as
actor. He
as the
always-
Nazi
yeah.
that's accused.
Isn't that
Yeah.
great? I'm-
Burt Lancaster part
The
of the
Burt
film.
Lancaster role.
Well,
yeah.
you're supposed to get better when you get older. You're more experienced.
He's
But when-
90 for God's sakes.
103. I'm 103. What the-
He'll kill me.
That's right.
We love
better
you.
make sure he
We
never
love
sees
you,
this.
Paul. But when people come up, it really bothers me. All these greats like Elton John, Mick Jagger, Billy Joel, they're better than they ever were. They may not be at the epitome of their physical ability to carry a note or breathe, but the way they present themselves and how they entertain, they're experienced.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get gray hair or you get a little older, a little belly, they don't want you no more. Now you're really at the height of your ability, and yet the audiences think you're old and you can't do it.
Sad news about Mick Jagger. He had to cancel his tour. It's not a good sign. If he goes before Keith Richards, there is no God.
Keith Richards really is gone. You're right. There is no God.
That's an audio animatronic that's been playing with the band.
Right, but he does. I have to say, Mick Jagger moves. I mean, he really moves.
Oh, yeah.
We met. I don't know if you knew that, but we were in my friend has this band, Timepiece. He's a bass player. Frankie Pagano from Staten Island, and I didn't go to see him. I went down to the Colts Neck Inn to make the story short, and I see a band sounded great. So they take a break, and I heard somebody say, "That's Al Lambert." So I said, "These people must be from Staten Island, you know." So then he turns around. I go, "Wait a minute, that's Frankie." So we hug. What are you doing here? He says, "Well, I'm with this band. I'm playing bass." He says, "The keyboard player is Bruce Springsteen's brother-in-law. It's his wife's brother." He goes, "In fact, Bruce is parking the car. He's coming in." So I go, "What?" He says, "He's coming in." So Lenore goes, "What?" So right away she gets her phone. Everybody's getting ready. So P.S. he does. He comes in. It was 2 years ago, Mother's Day, the night before Mother's Day. He had his mom with him, and I didn't get a chance to formally meet him, but I met his mom. She actually walked over and we talked a little, and then he actually took her away. He said hello, but he walked away. He was probably afraid, He had to be careful. But just circumstance, there he is, right there in the Colts Neck Inn. And then he's dancing next to us, and Lenore's going, click.
Yeah, see, that's why he's avoiding. He's going to get all those unflattering pictures of him.
But anyway, I'm glad you did this.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah, and
Should say that's my retirement plan.
Well, there you go. That's your hammock.
I did retire, so
I know you did. Yeah, I have not retired.
No.
Listen, you're welcome to come on. I love when people like yourself and Joe come on and we talk about what you're doing artistically. That's what this show was made for. About good things and people who help people and arts and
But this
live
would be
music.
the same conversation if there were no camera.
I know. Well, that's the whole idea, the whole idea. And when I do get people give me feedback, they go, "I love your show. It's conversational. We get involved in the conversation, and I kind of like it that way,
Yeah.
And I don't have to. My father taught me, and I know you love my dad, and you always say it.
I told him a few Dominic stories on the way over
here.
here.
It was funny, but he never worked with a script, and he could take an audience like that, 100 people, 300 people, get on the stage and work that room with no script for an hour. That's how he did it, and he taught me that. I never work with a script. I was going to say, I don't know how you guys remember these things when you're stuck. How the hell do you do that?
That is one of one of the nervous points when you get older. Is like, can I still memorize all these lines?
Yeah.
But I mean, look at you with songs.
I know that.
Do you actually ever have to review a song, lyrics for songs?
Very rarely.
Because he hasn't learned a new song in 30 years.
Everybody knows. 32 years. I actually make up my words, when I have to.
But you're at that point where you can do that.
I can do that.
90% of the people are not going to know.
I can't do it when Mike Azara's in the audience. He goes, "Oh, it's not a that. That's not a the. That's a but." Anyway, we're going to bring my next guest on, and I just want to say thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure.
I do want
real pleasure.
you to come back.
Real pleasure, Al.
Right?
Absolutely.
I want you to come back and hang around for my next guest. So my next guest has been on the Al Lambert show a few times. And we've played many years together, although she's too young for me to say that properly. And her name is Janice Friedman. Hi,
Hey,
Jan.
Al.
Love you. Thank you for
Love you
coming all
too.
the way from Manhattan.
Oh
New
my
York.
God. Swam all the way here.
I know. And I tell everybody that Janice is the real deal. And until the closing of the lounge, and you worked there in the lounge at the Waldorf, right? Mm-hmm. On Cole Porter's piano.
Yes.
Which is astounding. And I know you do the Bateau very often.
Yes.
Yes. And you do the Empire State Building around Christmas times in the lobby.
Yes.
Right. And all these other various gigs.
Wait, we got a big one you forgot.
Well, I got. Oh, you passed? What's going on right
No,
Oh,
it's
the one
right
on the Carnegie?
Time Warner Building.
Time Warner Building.
I play at the Center Bar.
Oh, that's right.
Tuesday through Saturday, 6 to 10.
Yes.
Come on by.
I still say I got to go. That's the one by Lincoln Center?
It's right by Columbus Circle.
By Columbus Circle, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's a great place actually.
What is it called again? So I know.
The Center Bar.
The Center
It's
Bar.
right by all the fancy schmancy restaurants
Center Bar
on the fourth floor.
Got to get up there.
It's a nice place actually.
I know. I've
Comfy,
heard everybody
cozy.
tells me it. But I know you do that Carnegie thing with the Sinatra band.
Yes.
I know you
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
fun.
And I know years ago you were with Sinatra Jr.
Yes.
You were with him for a while. And the Woody Herman Band.
Yes.
Yes. And then you did the Al Lambert big band
The most important job.
at Snug Harbor. That was a fabulous night that you directed the band and
Thank you.
played at the same time. And we had the Sinatra arrangements. It
We
was
had a good time.
Oh, my
We've
God,
done
it
a
was
lot of fun jobs
Yes, we
here.
really were very blessed.
Here on
Very
Staten
blessed,
Island.
Very blessed.
Yeah.
So you want to do a couple of things?
Let's
do
do.
it. All right.
All right.
We'll do the first one
Yeah.
in B flat.
Okay.
I've never been in love before. I thought my heart was safe. I thought I knew the score. I've never been in love before. Now all at once it's you. It's you forevermore. But this is why, not so strange and strong. I'm full of foolish song. Out my song must pour. So please forgive this helpless haze I'm in. I've really never been in love before.
Got it, Al. I've never been in love before. I thought my heart was safe. Thought I knew the score. I've never been in love before. I thought my heart was safe. Thought I knew the score. But this is wine that's oh so strange and strong, filled with foolish song, and out my song must pour. So please forgive this haze I'm in. I've really never been in love before.
Play one, baby. This is wine, all too strange and strong. I'm full of foolish song, and out my song must pour. So please forgive this helpless haze I'm in. I've really never been in love before. Hey, thank you very much, you beautiful audience. I truly appreciate it.
All right, Al.
So Janice and I have had this tremendous opportunity to play a lot together. And most recently, we were playing in Park Avenue in New York, and I had an opportunity to put this on my phone. How the heck I ever did that, I don't know. And I said that next time I was with you, I wanted to do this again. So this is my shot. I've grown accustomed to your face. It really makes the day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune you sing both night and noon. Your smiles, your frowns, your ups, your downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. You are extremely independent and content before we met. Surely we can always be that way again. And yet I've grown accustomed to your voice. That's something in the air. Accustomed to your face. Oh yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, Janice. Absolutely beautiful. I've grown accustomed to your face. It really makes the day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune you sing both night and noon. Your smiles, your frowns, your ups, your downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. You are serenely independent and content before we met. Surely I can always be that way again. And yet I've grown accustomed to your voice. That's something in the air. Accustomed to your face. Your face. Do it.
I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've got plenty of. My baby, dream a while, scheme a while, you're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things you always pine for. I like seeing you looking so swell, my baby. diamond bracelets Woolworths doesn't sell. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, my baby, I can't give you anything.
I can't give you anything but love, baby.
No diamond ring?
That's the only thing I have plenty of, baby.
Move over, Lenore.
Dream a while, scheme a while, you're sure to find a happiness, and I do guess all the things you've always dreamed of. Gee, I'm glad to see you looking swell, swell, baby. Diamond bracelets, Kmart doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know damn well, baby, I can't give you anything. I can't give you anything. I can't give you anything but love. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. I started with Around the World, I'm sorry.
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey?
I've searched
Won't you
for
come home?
you. I've traveled on
I've spent the whole
to
night
keep a
long.
rendezvous. I knew
I do the cooking, honey.
somewhere
I'll pay the
somehow
rent.
I would see the
You know
smile
I've done you
smiling now. It might
Remember
have
those
been
rainy seasons?
in County Down,
I threw you
in
out.
New York, in
Nothing
Gay
but a
Paris,
fine
or
to
even
look.
London town. No,
You know I'm to blame.
going around.
But what a shame, Bill Bailey. Won't you please come home? Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? I've waited the whole night long.
It might
Remember those rainy seasons? I threw you out with nothing but a fine to
or in a
come.
London town.
You know that I'm to blame.
Going around.
Well, that's a shame, 'cause Bill
I
Bailey,
have found my world
won't you please come?
in you.
Bill Bailey, won't you please come home?
Bailey, won't you please
Please come home.
You could leave. Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be so wise. Hey there, you on that high flying cloud. Though they may throw a crumb to you, you'd think someday she'd come your way. Better forget her, her with her nose in the air. She has you dangling on a string. Break it and she won't care. Won't you take this advice I hand you like a brother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Are you too much in love to hear? Is it all going in one ear and out the other? Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be so wise. Hey there, you on that high flying cloud. Oh, they may throw a crumb to you. You'd think someday she'll come your way. Oh, well, you better forget her. Forget her. Her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string. Break it and she won't care. Won't you take this advice I hand you like a brother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Are you too much in love to hear? Is it all going in one ear and out the other? And out the other. Ooh, hey there. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. Pack up all my care and woe. Here I go, singing low. Bye bye, bye bye, blackbird. Where somebody waits for me. Sugar is sweet and so is she. Bye bye, bye bye, blackbird. No one here can love and understand me. Oh, what hard luck stories they all hand me. Make my bed and light the light. I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, bye bye.
Yeah. Back up on my cares and woe. Here I go, singing low. Bye bye,
Bye bye.
bye bye, bye bye, blackbird. Where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, and so is he. Bye bye, bye bye, blackbird. No one seems to love or understand me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what hard luck stories they all hand me. Look, no hands. So make the bed, light the light. I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, bye bye.
Back up on my care and woe. Here I go, I'm swinging low. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, blackbird. Where somebody waits for me, sugar and sweet, and so is she. Bye bye, bye bye, blackbird. No one here can love and understand me. Oh, what a hard luck stories they all hand me. Make my bed and light the light, I will arrive late tonight. Blackbird, a blackbird, a blackbird, bye bye.
I didn't bring it up there at all tonight. I had to bring it up there just for a little.
You gotta
So
do
give
what
me
you
a
gotta
little
do.
Wee small hours in the background as I say goodnight. Fair enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say goodnight. I want to say good morning. I want to say good afternoon. Those of you who are watching the Al Lambert show at its assigned time, and sometimes it's on at different times. The lovely Janice Friedman is
Thank
next to me.
you,
She's
Al.
what we call the real deal. And as you can see, she's changing keys in the middle of the song, going back and forth, cueing me in, making it easy for me. Meanwhile, it is very difficult what she does, and she's just so great. So get up to the city, see her at some of her locations, and just enjoy it.
In the wee small hours of the morning, when the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and you think about the girl and never ever think of counting sheep. When your lonely heart has learned its lesson, she'd be yours if only she'd come in the wee small hours of the morning. That's the time I miss her most of all.
Go to bed, it's late.
Go to bed. Good night.
I've grown accustomed to your face. It really makes the day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune you sing both night and noon. Your smiles, your frowns, your ups, your downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. You are extremely independent and content before we met. Surely we can always be that way again. And yet I've grown accustomed to your voice. That's something in the air. Accustomed